Good morning and thank you for choosing McDonald Volvo. My name is Andy, the diagnostic technician looking at your vehicle today. We've got the vehicle in the shop today for a concern. The convertible roof is not lining up and operating properly. We also have a concern for some exhaust smell inside the vehicle when the climate system is activated. We'll start with the convertible roof concern today. I tested the function of your convertible roof and it was having some issues. I did note while I was opening the roof, I found one of the headliner pieces right here has detached from its little mounting clip on our ropes assembly right here. You can see it's properly connected over there. I did go ahead and clip the headliner back into its receptacle here and then continued to test and operate the convertible roof. The headliner piece did pop out again, so I re-secured it one more time and it popped out again, so it does look like the pieces are just worn out and not securing properly together anymore. When this piece comes loose, it gets in the way and causes all sorts of troubles with the headliner moving. As we have so many moving pieces, when one goes out of whack, it causes the whole system to kind of break down and fail. So I will go ahead and get a quote together to remove and replace this center piece of headliner in here that contains this little wing. I also want to go ahead and replace the receptacle that it clips into and the little ropes that go down here. So I'll get a quote for both of those parts on the vehicle. Once we get them replaced, I would like to continue to operate the convertible roof and make sure we don't have any other issues going on. But with the roof here in service position, I'm not finding anything else that pops out at me. Nothing else looks abnormal. Everything looks secured properly, besides the one headlining wing right there. So I'll get that quote together for you and we can go from there. So we'll move on to the exhaust smell inside the vehicle, which I was able to replicate. Popping the hood of the vehicle, the exhaust smell was very apparent underneath here, so I began checking for an exhaust leak in your vehicle. I didn't hear any audible exhaust leaks, although the engine was quite warm. Looking down here with a mirror, I didn't see any loose or missing nuts or studs for the exhaust manifold, so I did pick the vehicle up to see if I could find any issues down below. Once I got the vehicle lifted up, the catalytic converter right there comes from the turbocharger right underneath there. Inspecting those, I did find that 2 of the 3 mounting bolts between those 2 pieces are missing. You can see soot leaking out, which would account for our exhaust leak. So it does look like a couple of those bolts kind of work themselves loose and are missing. I looked inside the holes, I don't see any broken studs. I am going to recommend we kind of pull the catalytic converter loose from the turbocharger, replace the gasket that's in there that has been leaking, and then we'll install 3 new mounting bolts there, and that should take care of that problem for you. I did want to forewarn you when we're dealing with exhaust systems, especially around the turbocharger, because they deal with such extreme heat. Sometimes the bolts can seize in there or they become brittle and do break when we try and take them out. So there is a chance that the final bolt in there either won't come out or will break while removing. If that is the case, we will require some additional labor time to extract the broken stud out of the turbocharger. I did just want to forewarn you about that. Hopefully that 3rd bolt comes out nice and easy, but there is a possibility for some bad times in there. Moving on from there, I have given your vehicle a full bumper-to-bumper inspection today. I did find a couple other things I would like to recommend on the vehicle. On the drive, the vehicle did need to be jump-started, so I went ahead, took our handheld battery tester and tested your 12-volt battery. As you can see, it did test bad. It does need to be replaced, so I will get a quote together for removal and replacement of your 12-volt battery in here. From there, I inspected the brakes and tires on the vehicle. The brakes are in excellent shape. They look almost brand new front and rear. Tons of life left on your brake pads, so we're looking fantastic there. The tires, however, are pretty worn out. You can see we are at the replacement indicator bars on all 4 tires. The right rear tire is actually just below that bar, so we are in the red on our measuring spectrum as far as tires go. I will get a quote together to remove and replace all 4 tires on your vehicle. I will also include an alignment check quote, as whenever we swap out the tires, the difference in tread depth will adjust that suspension geometry. So we always recommend putting the vehicle up onto the alignment rack so we can adjust those measurements back into specification and ensure that your new tires do wear properly. From there, I'm going to pick the vehicle up. I found a couple things underneath the vehicle I would like to bring to your attention. I found some torn bushings on your suspension system on the front lower control arms. Those do need to be replaced as a pair, and the vehicle alignment does need to be checked after replacing those, so I'll get a quote together for that. Once I get the vehicle up in the air, I'll show you those torn bushings as well as those missing turbo bolts. The final item I have recommended is going to be a transmission cover reseal. The front pan on the transmission is leaking a little bit. We've got some wet fluid on there, so I do recommend removing the cover there. We'll drain all the transmission fluid out of there. We'll clean up the gasket that was there and replace it with a new gasket. You can see we've got some drips coming down from our transmission pan right here. From here, we're going to go and look up at our turbo. You can see we've got one bolt missing there, one bolt missing up there, and one installed up there. So that is our exhaust leak. You can see all the soot down here on the bottom. And then finally, the control arm bushings here. Let's see if we can get a good look with a flashlight, because you can't really see them. You can see the bottom there. There's a big crack. The bushings are completely torn out there on the bottom, so that is why I recommended replacing those front lower control arms, and we do have to do an alignment check after replacing those. But beyond that, I don't believe I have anything else to bring to your attention on the vehicle, so I'll go ahead and turn you back over to Dan up front. Please let us know if you've got questions or concerns today. We would be happy to answer any questions or address any concerns you might have. I do want to thank you again for choosing us at McDonald Volvo. We do truly appreciate your business, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.